Hello everyone and welcome to MHS Sports on MHTV. I'm Jess Burton and today we're at Staff Sergeant Christopher Piper Field at the Alexander Kulovich Athletic Complex on the campus of Marblehead High School as the Magicians boys lacrosse team takes on the Danvers Falcons. We'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. And stay tuned to the end of the game when I'll announce the Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game. The teams are lined up at midfield as we are about to get started. It's an absolutely beautiful day, first in a while for this lacrosse team between these two NEC foes. The Magicians come into the game 1-2 overall, 1-1 in conference off an overtime loss right here at Piper Field to Swampscott in their last game. 8-7 was the final. And Danvers comes into the game riding high. They are 2-2, but they beat Gloucester 16-2 in their most recent game. 12 minutes on the clock and rolling as the Magicians take the opening face-off right outside the crease and miss wide on a shot from Tyler Forbes. Tyler is the third in goals scored on the team behind Reese Moore and Will Sullivan with 4 on the season. Moore has 9, Sullivan has 6. The Magicians were closest to the ball as it went out of bounds, so they retain the possession here, and that is a pass to Moore that gets by him and to the sideline, and he's going to rush to keep it in, and he does sweep it back in bounds. He's challenged by number 9, Trevor McDermott by Gloucester, but the Magicians come away with it. That high pass is going to get out of bounds and turn it over to Danvers for the Falcons' first possession. In net for the visitors, seeing that first shot go by him, is Aiden Perry. He's a senior keeper for the Falcons. And on the other end for the Magicians, it is Colin Maniaci inside the crease. Maniaci has started all 3 games, so his record is 1-2, as the team's is. Danvers turns it back over to the Magicians quickly. Magicians are coached by John Wilkins. Pass from Sullivan broken up as he tried to feed it into the middle, and it's rushed across midfield by Cooper Dunham, I thought that was 12, it's 22, so Landon Mata was the one who brought it across midfield, but then it's knocked away from him. The Magicians get it back for a moment, and they turn it over, so some sloppy play here to begin the game. A little over a minute and a half in. Coach Wilkins not happy with that pass. Falcons feed it to Perry to start their possession, and he overshoots his target, which is Dunham at midfield. Grady Becker comes flying in for the Magicians, wielding a long stick to try to catch that one in the air, but it's by both those players, not out of bounds. Danvers will keep it. Becker must have got a piece. And then Dunham throws it away. His pass intended for Connor Harvey. The poor passing continues here in the opening minutes for both sides. Let's see if the Magicians can score on this possession. The ball with Colin White. Now with Forbes. Spins it down to Will Sullivan. Sullivan looking back out to White, gives it to him. This is Moore. Reese charges forward. Has the ball knocked away from him. Good defense by number 9, McDermott for the Falcons. Forbes tried to pick it up off the turf. Might have had it for a second or two before it's knocked away. Controlled by McDermott. Runs in front of his own bench, and it's knocked away from him by Sullivan. Good play from behind. Ball gets all the way to the far sideline. Picked up, knocked away, picked back up by Danvers. They charge forward. The shot off of Maniaci. It lays just outside the crease, and he covers. Good quick fire there by Danvers. Maniaci wore that one. Looked like it hit him right in the stomach. Solid save to keep the Falcons off the board here in the first quarter. Sullivan switches hands with the stick, now back into his left hands, tries to take a shot that is well defended. Owen Stanton, number 10, was all over him. Now this is off of Stanton's stick, behind the net, racing back to it. Moore's going to get there first and pick it up. We've played 4 minutes here in the opening quarter. White charges forward, finds some space, doesn't shoot, gives it up to Sullivan. Sullivan looking middle, has Sean Dolan there. Dolan and Moore are the two captains this season. Looking forward to speaking with them after the game. We were unable to catch up with them before the season for the Magicians Spring Sports Preview, but we will post-game and get their thoughts on how the season's gone so far and looking forward. And that was an excellent and very fancy shot from Reese Moore that did go in, but it looks like he was inside the crease. The goal waved off as he shot it no look over his shoulder after picking up the rebound. So we're still scoreless. We're rounding down on 5 minutes played. Danvers really having trouble holding on to the ball. Looks like they might have been offside on that play, or on that possession, so they'll give it back to the Magicians. Thomas Tedeschi starts it. This is James Akhtaroff. Akhtaroff has scored in both the most recent games for the Magicians, against Swampscott and their only win against Beverly, so he's got 2 goals and an assist this season. Only 7 guys have scored so far this year for the Magicians, again with 9 of those going to Moore, 6 to Sullivan. Mentioned Forbes has 4. Colin White with 2, Zamansky also with a pair, Akhtaroff with a pair, and Bernardo Banis, one of the fan favorites, running back for the football team, scored in the Swampscott game as well. And Coach Wilkins and assistant coach Mike O'Neill not happy with the start for the Magicians, so they call a timeout and will get the team huddled up with 6:20 left in the first. The team started the season with a 16-3 loss at Newburyport, who's going to be one of the top teams in the Cape Ann, most likely. Then they followed that up with a 16-goal outing of their own, finally getting the offense to click, beating Beverly 16-10 in Beverly. And then again, their most recent game, the overtime loss right here at the end of last week, 8-7 in OT to Swamp. Some mistakes late in that game after they climbed back in it, and in overtime allowed the Big Blue to get out of here with a win. This is one of 2 games this week for the team. They will play at Peabody in a couple of days. But this week is a pretty big week for the team as they try to pick up some conference wins. These 2 teams always seem to play competitive games. We've covered some really good games in the past years between Marblehead and Danvers. Number 9, Bernardo Banis, into the game off the bench, gets his first touch. The Magicians swing it around. Now they look middle, and that shot goes wide of the near post from Ben Zamansky. Halfway through the first, and we're scoreless. This is Owen Dulac who fires a shot off the stick of Aiden Perry. Good save by the Danvers keeper, and he makes another one against Will Sullivan, who caught the ball off a Dulac's shot behind the net, ran it out, tried to beat Perry low, to no success. Perry will bring it out himself. Across midfield. Shakes a couple of defenders. Look at the goalie go. Now he's going to have to go back a long way. About 60 yards. He's got to hustle back. He's going to be tired when he gets back there after rushing all the way upfield. But he does get back there before the Magicians can get downfield. Would have liked to see the Magicians look for a long pass there to see if they could beat him down. But they choose to run it into the zone and set a possession up. From out behind the net, Sullivan to Forbes, who bounces it off the post. And it's collected by Perry in the crease. That was a great opportunity for Forbes from point-blank range. Tried to bounce it past him. Looked like he should have been able to do it. But Perry gets some help from the goal around him. Keep the Magicians off the board. We're still scoreless, now with 4.5 minutes left in the quarter. We don't get many scoreless quarters in high school lacrosse. Surprised that 8 minutes in almost, we are at that point. But just the one shot for Danvers, a couple for the Magicians. The sloppy passing at the beginning has something to do with the fact that we don't have any goals so far. This is the longest possession Danvers has had. Fire is at the feet of Maniaci. Picks it up off his laces. A good save there. Nice catch by Grady Becker with the long stick. Quickly gets it up to Sean Dolan. Here's Sullivan. Attacks into the middle. Runs through Logan Jacques. And his pass intended for number 19, Forbes, goes out of bounds. Magicians will keep possession. Quick shot from Moore. Wasn't really even looking at the goal, but knew where it was and fired high. Possession will continue. Forbes looks middle. A wide open Dulac drops the pass, shovels it towards the net, and it's kept out of there by Perry at the very last second. Referee standing right there on the goal line. Says it never broke the plane. We're still scoreless. Back with the Falcons. This is Jacques. He gives it up to Brady Tersolo. Remember that name over the past few years. He is a senior on the Falcons roster. He waits for a substitution between Dunham and Jacques. Hands off to Dunham. They'll throw it back to him here. I believe I read Dunham had 4 goals in the game against Gloucester, but he was their leading scorer in the game. So the Magicians will have to keep their eye on number 12. Tedeschi with a nice defensive play to knock it loose, picked up by White with 2:20 left in the first. Banis heads onto the field. Has it here. Banis running forward. Tries to shoot it. Ball popped out of his stick. It rolls into the crease as he was surrounded by Falcons players, and Perry picks it up. So because we are scoreless, this is a very fast-moving first period. Far sideline, it's brought up by Tersolo. And head coach Dan Ritchie for Danvers calls a timeout. So now each team has taken one. With 1:42 left in the quarter, Ritchie wants to talk over this possession and make sure Danvers, most likely, to talk over the fact that they want to get a good shot off here. Got a couple of shots for both sides, but 0-0 at this point. So to go along with his team leading 9 goals, which he had 6 of in the Beverly win, Reese Moore has 5 assists. Will Sullivan leads the team in the assist category. He has 6 of those to go with his 6 goals. And the only other player to register an assist this season is Akhtarov with just 1. So the Magicians have clearly relied heavily on Moore and Sullivan, and a little bit from Forbes through the first 3 games. Out of the timeout, Dunham will begin the Danvers possession with the ball. Lays a shoulder into Dulac. Allows him to get some space to get the pass away. He run back towards midfield by Tersolo, then pass to Dunham. Dunham sets a screen. Doesn't roll off of it, stays on the wing. Ball with Thomas Sear. Now to Tersolo, defended by Tedeschi. Tersolo looks in the middle. Great save by Maniaci. Tersolo hit the cutting Connor Harvey. Harvey, a few feet outside the crease, was wide open with that shot. Basically one-timed it, but Maniaci up for the challenge. Now Collin runs it out to about the 25. There's a lateral pass to Tedeschi and then gets it back. Fires a high pass off the stick of Akhtarov and down to the turf. Excuse me, off the stick of Dulac and down. Now scooped up by Forbes. Forbes rushing ahead, passes behind to Moore. Moore's shot is saved, picks up the rebound, another save. And Danvers has it. It looked like he was absolutely going to score on the rebound, but Perry made the adjustment to stop it. Now it's back with Moore, and Perry makes another save, denying Reese. Final 15 seconds of the first quarter, a flurry of shots from the Magicians, but we are still scoreless. Now, both goalies playing excellent here in the opening quarter, and it looks like time's going to run out. There is the horn, and surprisingly, we are scoreless after 12 minutes. And that's some language we don't usually use on MHTV, but potentially picked up from Aiden Perry, the goalie, but he's fired up and for good reason, making a bunch of saves there towards the end of the first frame. So again, it's 0-0 after 12 minutes. You're watching MHS Sports on MHTV. Before we take a moment, we'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner and bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. We'll be right back with the second quarter. Quick break between the first and second quarter. We are back. The teams will switch ends for the second. So Aiden Perry, who again made great saves for Danvers at the end of the first quarter, hustles down to the left side of the field. Maniaci takes his spot at the right side. And we're ready to go here. Face-off push forward by Danvers, but it's going to be collected by the Magicians. Secured by number 26, Kyle Thibodeau. First time we've called Kyle's name. He heads off to the bench as possession starts for the Magicians, and a quick shot from Forbes. And Perry makes another stop, got a piece of it. A battle for it behind the goal line and towards the corner and the sideline, and now it goes out off of Danvers. Forbes will start with it. Out to Colin White. White was a captain of the soccer team in the fall. Sullivan shoots and scores. They finally break past Perry. Sullivan's 7th goal of the year makes it 1-0 Magicians. That goal comes 54 seconds into the second. See if that wakes the Magicians up a bit. Thibodeau wins and collects the draw. Good start in the second quarter for Kyle in the face-off circle. Dulac hops on the field, has it, spins to Zemansky. Zemansky runs forward, fires low, and that does get by Perry. He stopped it initially, but he fell down. He sort of knocked it into the goal himself. 2 quick strikes for the Magicians now, and they lead 2-0. That is Zemansky's 3rd of the season. He was by his defender quickly. Thibodeau 3 for 3 here to start the second. Dolan had it for a minute, and it was knocked away from him, but a whistle from the official will give the ball to Danvers with some space. That might have been on the face-off. Yeah, it was a late call. If it was, it said a procedure penalty, or procedure call, not a penalty, I guess. Bad pass there. Falcons able to pick it up nonetheless. That pass out from behind the net was at the feet of Connor Harvey and then chased down by Dunham. Dunham's defended by White. Now Tedeschi defending the ball. Long pass, good catch by Tersolo. He's poked at by Andrew DePhillips. Pass to the middle, broken up by Gavin Ferretti. Bounces to Maniaci. Colin has it back. Colin to Colin, Maniaci to White. White's pass almost knocked down, but it finds its way to Dolan. Forbes' pass was knocked to the turf, but picked up by Reese Moore. Off the bench comes Akhtarov. Picks it up on a bounce. After not collecting the first pass cleanly, he gets a shot away, and that bounces past the post into the corner. Moore with speed out of the corner, hits Sullivan, wide open net on the near side to score that one. A late adjustment by Perry, but you could see all the space Sullivan had to choose from to beat Perry, and he does. Sullivan's 2nd of the game, 2nd of the quarter, 8th of the season, makes it 3-0 Magicians. And the assist to Moore. So after 12 scoreless minutes in the first quarter, they've now scored 3 goals in 3 minutes here in the second, with 9 to play before halftime. Another face-off win for Thibodeau. Possession really being controlled here, and the game now being controlled by the Magicians. Pass to Dulac. Dulac down low to Sullivan, out to Moore. Moore looking to get on the board, gives it back up, gives it back to Sullivan. They play catch. Moore spins, looks middle, goes back to Sullivan instead. Banis is in the middle. He's well covered. The defense really condensed by the Falcons, and now Banis will pull it out. Forbes fires. Perry makes the stop. Moore, defended by McDermott, had it knocked away, picks it back up. Looking for space to work with, out to Banis. Banis trying to get to a strong hand, spins, reverse way you would think he would spin, able to keep possession. Nice move. Kicks it back out to Sullivan. That was a running back sort of move there from Banis. Knocked away, battled for, behind the net, and it's secured by the Falcons. They tiptoe on the end line, and they do step out. Number 14, Cameron LaCroix-Hiltz, knew he was in bad position. He was getting close to the end line, tried to shovel it back to his teammate, but he stepped out first. A shot from the Magicians. I believe that was a shot. Could have been a pass middle, but it works its way all the way to the far sideline. They'll start with it there. Sullivan turns back to his right, shoots low. It's turned back middle. Looks like one of the Falcons players, number 7, Jackson Moody, might have rolled his ankle. Shot went by the post. Possession will continue. Out in front. And that somehow goes in. It's going to be Dulac with the goal. Not sure how he pushed that one off the turf past Perry. I mean, he was surrounded. But he made it work. He was open for a second when the pass got to him. But he sweeps it by Perry, and that's 4 goals in a handful of minutes here in the second. Magicians pitching a shutout, really in control of the second quarter, 4-0. Thibodeau, another win. Triple teamed. Still loose. The whistle goes against Danvers. A few guys will shuffle on and off for both teams. Moore will start with it. Moore has had an outstanding career here as a Magician. For years now has been one of the leaders in goals scored on the team. And owns that honor right now as well. Pass into the middle to Akhtarov is broken up. Dolan has his stick knocked out of his hands. Swept past midfield by Danvers. Big contact right around the 40 in front of the Danvers bench. They're able to pick it up. Solid hit by Akhtarov. Jars it loose again. That whistle also goes against Danvers. Ref said failure to advance. Moore winds up. Now takes a jump shot. After he rethought the first one, finds a little bit more space and scores. Moore's 10th goal of the season makes it 5-0 Magicians. They're putting together quite the second quarter here. And Danvers has no answer right now. They can't even get a possession. That whistle also goes against Danvers. Thibodeau drops it over to Mark Rosado. Now Moore with a ton of space, steps up, fires low and scores. And after making a handful of wonderful saves in the first quarter, Aiden Perry can't make one here now in the second. It is 6-0 back-to-back goals for Reese. And it definitely looked like he should have stopped that one. It was just him and Moore, but it snuck by him. And the bench wants to make sure that the table, and now I know that the assist goes to Mark Rosado. This roster has a nice collection of guys that played all different sports. Sean Dolan, captain of this team, was also a captain of the hockey team. We mentioned Bannis from the football team, Thomas Tedeschi also from the football team, Colin White from the soccer team, Jared Halpern from the soccer team. Yeah, some talented athletes on this squad that play 2 or 3 sports throughout the season. Bannis able to keep possession through a big hack from Stanton. Sullivan winds up, fires, and it's past the post. .340 left before halftime. Magicians have built a 6-0 lead here in the quarter. Sullivan out to Moore. Moore looking for 3 straight, and it goes by the post. He was searching for that top corner and just missed. Quick passing. They're looking for Moore in the middle. He's hit as he tried to receive the pass. And it's going to go to Danvers. And Danvers really hasn't had a possession here in the second quarter. They might be able to settle into one here with 3 minutes left. But the Magicians have picked up the pressure both offensively and defensively, and Thibodeau's been so good in the faceoff circle. Falcons just now really getting the ball for the first time. The pass middle broken up by Bodie Smith. First time we've called Smith's name. Number 2, the long stick. And that's it for that possession for Danvers as it goes out of bounds in the corner, and it's back to the Magicians. Here's Zemansky. Quickly from behind the net to Moore, and an easy goal over the top of the defender and over Perry's shoulder. That is 3 straight for Reese, and he makes it 7-0 and has a Magician's hat trick. Another face-off win by Thibodeau. This possession will get us to the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. Sullivan feeds to Moore. I don't know how he caught that with traffic, and in one motion spins and shoots by Aiden Perry, who has lost all control in net. That is 4 in a row for Moore. It's 8-0 now. Magicians. And that was a quick possession as we just get to the 158 mark before halftime. Another win for Thibodaux. This is a tale of two quarters. Scoreless through the first 12 minutes. 8 goals here in the second. Both teams probably had about the same number of possessions in the first quarter. They both had only a couple of shots on goal. And things have changed quickly. Danvers basically out of it at this point, unless they really come to life in the second half. But this is the Magicians team that we more expected to see right off the jump. They needed 12 minutes to wake up. But they've got a shot of caffeine in everybody at the end of the first quarter because this is a different team. That's goal number 9 and 5 straight for Reese Moore. Wow. These 5 goals in a row for Reese now bring them up to 14 total on the season. Is that another assist for Grisato? At least Akhtarov says so as he heads to the bench. You got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Thibodaux for this outburst as well. He's won every faceoff in the quarter. Down to 50 seconds, and I just have a feeling the Magicians aren't done scoring yet. They're looking for double digits here in the second quarter alone. A dominant performance. And Banis called for a foul. I might have jinxed him. No shock there as he gives a shoulder to Tersolo. Tersolo, long pass for Danvers up to Campbell. 25 seconds left before halftime. Tedeschi defending the ball. Tough shot from Sear. Defended by Tedeschi really well. Barely just fell out of his stick. McKenzie, bitten by the turf monster, lost his footing on his way towards midfield, dropped the ball. Possession will stay with the Magicians. Final 5 seconds, looking for a buzzer beater, but the pass goes over Sullivan's head, and that horn is halftime. What a second quarter. 9 goals scored, the last 5 by Reese Moore. The Magicians lead 9-0 at the break. Before we head to our break, we'd like to remind you that MHTV is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. If you're enjoying this production of MHS Sports on MHTV, please click subscribe on our YouTube page and consider making a donation by visiting our website, marbleheadtv.org, and there's a lot more to offer on the website as well. Click on the donate button when you get there and help us out a little bit. We'll be back with the third quarter in just a minute. Welcome back to MHS Sports on MHTV. I'm Jess Burton. Third quarter between the Magicians and Falcons about to start. Again, the teams will switch ends, so Maniaci in net for the Magicians back on the left side of the field. And Aiden Perry, who had a lot of success down on the right side of the field in the first quarter, keeping the Magicians off the board, will be on that side again after allowing 9 goals when he switched to the other end in the second. That was a heck of a second quarter for the Magicians. Looked like two completely different teams against a completely different goalie for the Falcons. You had Sullivan with 2 goals, Zemansky with 1, Dulac with 1 in the last 5 of the quarter, scored by Reese Moore to give him 14 total on the season. Got to credit a lot of the success in the second quarter, though, to the man in the face-off circle right now for the Magicians. That is Kyle Thibodeau. He won every face-off, I believe, in the second. And really, Danvers never even had more than a possession that lasted about 30 seconds, I would say. And he only had that once or twice. And again, Thibodeau starts the third with a face-off win. Sets up possession for the home team. Reese Moore with it. Spins it to Sullivan behind the net. Off the bench comes Bernardo Banis. I just walked by Banis in the hallway, and one of his friends told him to score a goal, and he starts the third quarter by granting the wish. Banis is second of the season. Makes it 10-0 Magicians just 28 seconds into the third quarter. They made that one look easy. So an even faster start for the Magicians here in the third than they had in the second. Goal 28 seconds in, where it was about 40-something seconds into the second quarter when they scored the first goal of the game. Another win in the face-off circle. Dulac possesses it, gives it up to Becker. Pass middle to the cutter, and they score again. That is Ivan Radovsky. First time we called his name is for goal number 11 for the team. That's an assist to Tyler Forbes. And Radovsky, known for scoring goals on the ice, puts one in here on the turf. It's 11-0 Magicians, his first of the season. Another draw controlled by the Magicians. And it's the first time I've been able to say that Perry makes a save in a while, that he does that time. Shot was from Becker. Becker intercepts the pass. Long pass to Sullivan, it was wide open, waits for help. A short pass though behind Grisato. This is number 17, Henry Walcott, who backs up to about the 45-yard line and will let the Magicians settle into a possession. Sullivan looking for Grisato. Has it knocked away by Danvers. Fight for it on the end line. Scooped past the end line, out of bounds by Danvers, so Marblehead will keep the ball. Sullivan dishes from behind the net. Grisato scores. Grisato's first of the season makes it 12-0. Set up by Sullivan. Thibodeau wins again. As they did in the second quarter, 3 goals in 3 minutes for the Magicians. Moore fakes a shot, keeps it, retreats, takes a couple hits from the defender, who then catches his toe in the turf, falls down, opens things up for Moore. Moore back to Radovsky. Quick passes from the Magicians. As the bench yells out, keep it hot. That's what they mean. Back to Radovsky. Digs his foot in, finds space, gets into the middle, has it knocked away from behind, and picked up out of the air. Nice catch by McDermott. Radovsky tries to jar the ball loose, but it's kept by Tersolo. Excuse me, not Tersolo, that's Jacques, number 3, not 2. But he's forced towards the sideline. It goes out of bounds off the Magicians. Falcons will start with the ball just in front of the Marblehead bench. This is Thomas Sear. Defended and poked at by Tedeschi. Ball now with Tersolo. Number 19, Crowley, joins the offense for the Falcons. Tersolo tells him to set a screen, so he does. Tersolo looking for space to shoot. He gets the shot off. There was contact stick to stick. In the process, it doesn't go very far. Picked up off the turf by Campbell, who shoots an easy shot on Maniaci. Back the other way quickly come the Magicians. And Moore fires it by the post. Yeah, by the post, but into the net. Usually, I say by the post, it's a miss, but it is not. It is the 6th goal for Reese Moore. Perry really never had a shot at that. That was a laser from Moore. Goal number 15 on the season, and that makes it 13-0 Magicians. And with that lead, the clock will now run. That is the first draw control for Danvers in a very, very long time, maybe since the first quarter. Thibodeau upset with himself as he came off that he didn't win that face-off, but got to lose one eventually. Nothing to be upset about at all. Tersolo out from behind the goal line, fires a high pass across over the stick of Harvey. Harvey and Tedeschi battling for it. Harvey picks it up off a hop. Campbell tries to shoot a one-timer, but never had it. The whistle goes against Marblehead, so Danvers will keep possession over towards the sideline. We are halfway through the third quarter. 4 different scores for the Magicians here in this frame. Banis, Radovsky, Grisato, and Moore. For Radovsky and Grisato, both their first of the season. Banis is second. Moore is 15th and 6th of the day. And that possession does not last very long for Danvers. Through that first quarter, it really looked like we were going to have a competitive game. And man, the tides have turned. The Magicians have just imposed their will from the start of the second quarter on. And now a penalty, our first penalty of the game, is going to go against Danvers. It'll send Thomas Sear to the box for a minute. And like the Magicians need any help, they'll be on the power play, up a man. When the Magicians started scoring in the second, about 4 or 5 goals in, the defense really got condensed in the middle by Danvers. It looked like a power play sort of defense with how low they were. It was the Magicians just doing a nice job working them back. They're a bit spread out here as they try to take up more of the field. Let's see if the Magicians can close down on them. They find space to shoot. And that is Sean Dolan who scores. They left the corner open. Dolan's first of the game makes it 14-0. And when I speak with Sean after the game, I will ask him if that is his first career goal, as it was just said by, I believe, Akhtarov coming off the field. Akhtarov doing a nice job keeping score today. It is definitely Dolan's first of the season. Again, Sean, one of the captains of the hockey team, and he's a defenseman. And he might have led the North Shore, if not close to the top of the North Shore, in points. Most of them, if not all of them, were assists. So he's not known for goal scoring, usually a setup man, but gets his first of the year there to just extend the lead even more for the Magicians. There's some tough contact behind the net. I think another call is about to go against Danvers. Dolan's goal ended the power play they were on. But Danvers has possession, so no whistle coming. Perry just outside the crease, pressured by Forbes as soon as he caught it. There's a long pass on one hop, knocked down by McKenzie a few steps in front of the Marblehead crease. Another bouncing pass that Forbes collects. Tyler brings it past the 30. Stops at the 20, uses a screen from Hayden Gallo, number 16. A minute 45 left in the third quarter. Nice move by Walcott. Got the defender to spin in a circle, and the bench will love that. Pass overshoots Gallo and goes out of bounds. It'll go back to the Falcons. 90 seconds and rolling left in the third. Solid screen from the Falcons to get Tarsolo loose for a minute, and his pass knocked down and picked up by Bodie Smith. Smith on the move, pulls up around the 30, looks for the trailer. Good catch by Grisato. Now Gallo, Radowski, and Grisato. Off the bench comes Walcott. Forbes keeps it. Grisato cuts. He's also got Radowski front and center. Sends a low pass that Jared Halpern picks up. Good to see Jared out there. As now with this 14-goal lead, some of the guys for the Magicians coming off the bench should get extended minutes. There's Walcott. Double, now triple teamed. Walcott took a hit on the wrist. You could see him sort of grab at his wrist when he lost his stick. He's going to tough it out. So we're going to have a slashing penalty against Danvers as the quarter ends. Marblehead will start on the power play in the fourth quarter, but through 3, they are pitching a shutout. It is 14-0 Magicians. We'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. Stay tuned, the fourth quarter is coming right up. Welcome back for the fourth quarter. No opening draw here for the fourth because of the penalty. So the Magicians start with the ball. Halpern has it in the deep corner. Long pass to Forbes. Shot from Forbes off of the new goalie that's in the game for Danvers. It's Lincoln Smith. He's a junior. Aiden Perry, who started the game for Danvers, kept the Magicians off the board the first 12 minutes and then gave up 14 goals in quarters 2 and 3. So they pull him after the third. Looked like we were going to have sort of a goalies duel going on after the first quarter. No such case. The Magicians are also going to switch their goalie while they have this offensive possession. Maniaci's out without allowing a goal. And in goes Graham Ferretti. Not sure how much action Graham will see. Danvers going to try, though, here. Grisato was the shooter on the other end. Never made it to the goal. Tried an over-the-shoulder shot. That was defended well. Then we have running time here in the fourth. I believe unless Danvers can get it to a 12-goal lead. That's sort of a long shot, so they can't even control a possession for more than about 20 or 30 seconds. Quick passing to Grisato, just steps outside the crease, and the save is made by Lincoln Smith. They turn it right back over, and Smith 2 for 2 on saves. Gives the Danvers fans across the way something to cheer about. This is Ben Campbell. Off the sideline, gets away from the defender, Andrew DePhillips. Tersolo. Pass broken up by McKenzie. The ball rolls to the sideline. Tersolo and John Schaefer meet over there. Good hustle by Schaefer. Possession to the Magicians, and he will start with it. Again, this Danvers team just beat Gloucester 16-2. Not sure what that says about Gloucester. The Magicians will play Peabody next on the road. I believe that game will be on Wednesday. There's a shot from Gallo as he works his way into the middle, and he beats Lincoln Smith down low. 15-0 Magicians. Gallo's first of the season. Coach Wilkins going to send Bernardo Banis out there for the face-off. Danvers finally wins a draw. But their possession lasts a handful of seconds as Sokol had it knocked away. Banis tries a bounce shot from about 20 yards out, or about 10 yards out from the goal. Bounces it past the net. Good defensive play initially off the draw to jar that ball loose by DePhillips. Banis uses his strength, bumps a defender back, spins out of trouble once a secondary defender comes in. This is Forbes. Forbes really one of the only starters that's still out there. That's another goal for Dulac. His second of the game. He scored to make it 4-0, now scores to make it 16-0. And like I said in the first quarter, you don't see many scoreless quarters. You don't see many shutouts in lacrosse as well. But the Magicians are 6 minutes and 15 seconds away from blanking Danvers. Well, that's broadcaster's jinx immediately right there as Danvers scores their first goal of the game. I believe that was Crowley. 16-1. Magicians jar it loose, pick it up. Run forward by DePhillips. One hopper by Forbes, and that came out of his stick wrong. Forbes upset. He was wide open. .40 left in the game. Radovsky. Back to Forbes. Down low to Gallo. Hayden defended well, so he has to give it up. Grisado looks middle. Shot from Walcott. Saved by Smith. Ball knocked loose at midfield. Swanton picks it up. Tersolo controls, high pass. And then off the post. Shot from Gabe Sokol. Three and a half to play. Graham Ferretti in net for the Magicians here in the fourth. He gets it back. No rush for the Magicians to get it upfield. McKenzie trots forward. His pass picked off. Don't think McKenzie got a piece of that. The pass just behind the target, who was Sokol again. Goes to the end line. Yeah, last touched by the Falcons. Graham Ferretti, number 44. Gavin Ferretti, number 13. Pass middle to an open shooter. Connor Harvey scores. Back-to-back goals here late for the Falcons to make it 16-2. Make sure you stick around at the end of the broadcast. We'll pick a Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game. Player that we choose gets a shirt made by the sports shop, a player of the game shirt. They pick it up in the athletic office here at the high school. We'll be covering the girls lacrosse game on Wednesday. And that shot beats Ferretti. That's 3 straight for Danvers. That one goes to Thomas Sear, 16-3. With 50 seconds left in the game. And again, the clock continues to run. Not going to be much time left once this face-off is set up. Down to 25 seconds to play. Thibodeau back in there for this draw. He wins another. Magicians controlled final possession here. Final few seconds, maybe one more goal. Yeah, cash it for Mark Grisado from Jared Halpern. That makes it 17-3, and that is the final score this afternoon. After a scoreless first period, the Magicians put 9 in the second. They score 5 more in the third and finish it off 17-3. What a performance through the second, third, and fourth quarters for Marblehead. A dominating win over the Falcons. Stick around. When we return, I will announce the Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game. Welcome back to MHS Sports on MHTV. Tonight's Marblehead Sports Shop player of the game is Reese Moore. Reese with 6 goals in the game, including 5 straight in the second quarter to bring his season total to a team-leading 15 goals through the first 4 games for the Magicians. And he had a handful of assists as well, I assume. I have a couple registered down here, so just an excellent game for the captain, Reese Moore, all around. So congrats, Reese, from the Marblehead Sports Shop and from MHTV. We would like to thank Marblehead Sports Shop for being our community partner in bringing you the Player of the Game award. And we'd like to thank National Grand Bank for being our community partner in bringing you MHS Sports on MHTV. Once again, the final score, 17-3. For all of us here at MHTV Sports, I'm Jess Burton. Thanks for watching.